All right, everybody, welcome to the Fantasy Sports Wrap. Michael Potter.
Darren Phillip.
Hey, a couple of quick shout-outs. Number one, GCU baseball team won the Western Athletic Conference at Sac State. Second year in.
What's up?
Ooh. Hey, when we were in the WAC in 95-98, we never won the whole conference, right? We won our division, and we played the tournament.
Yeah, we won the North Division.
Yeah.
And went to the WAC tournament.
This was the first men's championship in the WAC. The women have won 4: softball, I think, tennis, and 2 track championships. But the first for men. So the Lopes got it. So I know a lot of folks out there are Lopes fans. So congratulations to Andy Stankiewicz and the squad. And one more shout out I got to do. I met a kid up at Sacramento State, Dominic Johnson. He just graduated. He was calling the game. He said he loved fantasy. I said check out our show. He liked us on Facebook. And so a shout out to Dominic. He's got a bunch of buddies. He's been playing fantasy forever. So Dominic, hopefully you're watching this. Tell all your buddies to like our page and check out our show.
Way to go, Dom.
Yeah, good kid. He doesn't know what he's going to do with the rest of his life. And I said, you know what? Nobody does. Don't worry about it.
Join the club.
Yeah,
Join
exactly.
the club.
Exactly. Well, I know what you're going to do, Darren. Now,
I'm going to kill myself.
Stop it. We've had a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, are you Tony Kornheiser?" I just got a flashback of Tony Kornheiser on.
This is for the season. That's it. Done.
That makes me Michael Wilbon.
Anyone you want to take over?
Wow. Maybe Cindy could take over.
You know what? You do a lot better job than I'm doing. That's for sure.
Well, we've been accused, and I think they're mainly pointed at you of being kind of Debbie Downers the last couple, but you don't have much else to be happy about because you only won 2.
I'm in last place. I'm in last place in the division.
Yeah, but Domorowski is behind you overall.
Well, yeah. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better. That will change after I lose to Domorowski this next week. I'm sure.
Is that who you're playing?
Yes.
That's awesome. So anyway, real quickly, I went 7-2-1 on Shuff, and I lost ground in my division.
Your division just smoked us.
Juggernauts.
With the exception of the Tillman Pride Domorowski matchup, but everybody else just got killed.
Yeah, and Pride got 6 wins, and he jumped all the way up to 3rd place in your division.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, we did. There was a couple of them. I don't know if there was a buzzsaw. We got to talk about this. Docs and Jocks whined their rears off about not being a buzzsaw the week before, but they actually had a more buzzsaw-ish week this week. I did some things. They would have won against everybody.
I got to give that to them.
Home runs, RBI, average runs, strikeouts.
No question.
Yeah,
no question.
I think they're the buzzsaw of the week, right?
50 runs, 50-plus runs, 50-plus RBIs, almost 20 homers.
Yeah, that was
306, 82 strikeouts, 6 wins, 4 saves. My gosh.
And they beat everybody in WHIP and ERA.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my vote.
Here you go, Docs and Jocks. You're the buzzsaw of the week.
So quit your crying.
The other reason I want to give it to him is because I think now out of we've named 3 buzzsaws now, and I think 2 have been against Baracho Bandits. So that's always
and
a
it's
plus
having a little tough stretch here. What is a consolation to me is that I'm very much still in my race in my division.
Oh
for
yeah,
the divisional crowd. I mean, I'm just
4
not
games back, something like that.
I'm in last place, but yeah. So if there's any silver lining that I can look for, that's probably it.
You guys didn't really perform. You shot me a text today and basically said, what were you in, $170 or something like that's not going to cut it.
No, at the time I had 2 runs and an RBI, and this was getting toward the end of the late games. I'm just 2 runs and an RBI out of all these guys. I had one guy sit. They sat Santana, gave him a mental break, which is frankly what I need right now. But they sat him, and but it's still my team was just horrible. And Phoenix Tower did not really play that well today. He was ripe for the taking of a couple more categories, and my guys just didn't do it. They didn't step up.
So what are you going to do? That's the question, the age-old question. You sticking with your guys? Or are you going to make a big trade? What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know. I've already burned up all my transactions for this week, so that's done.
I only used one transaction last week. I didn't want to drop anybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm at a point now where it's just I'm the pitching, guys getting shelled, even my aces are getting hit. And just so I'm just I loaded up on position players. I'm going to make sure I can get as many slots filled on the off days as possible. I picked up some hot guys. I sat with guys like Adam Lind who went 2 for 30 or something like that last week, and I've just had stretches where I hit 223 for the week. 223.
That's pretty
This is
bad.
supposed to be a fantasy team, not.
No.
Jeez. I mean, come on.
Well,
Anyway,
you've
so
got. Hey, if you want to make a big trade, I'll still trade you like 3 guys for Stanton.
okay,
Send it over, man. I just pulled off a trade today.
I saw that.
That was a trade that should have happened about a week and a half ago, and then Dale
Yeah,
decided.
finally pulled the trigger, huh?
Well, I think he had Greinke had 2 starts like 2 weeks in a row, or he had 2 starts against me this week,
Oh,
so
that's
he didn't
right.
want
He
to.
didn't want to move him on a 2-start week. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
which was smart. And then I think he didn't want to move on a 2-star week, and then he was playing me the next week, so he's like he didn't want to trade him. But Dale and I did make a trade, and I think a lot of people thought it wasn't a very good trade on my end. I wasn't sure either, but Cargo hit a home run, a couple home runs, and maybe he's going to start swinging the stick a little bit. If so, that'll be a big trade for me. You know, I mean, I don't know if he will or not, but
well, he
did this week.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Which is always fun when you trade with a guy, and then the guy he gives you during that week you're playing him actually outperforms the guy you traded him. That always makes you feel
That's
better.
right.
About
That
yourself.
was with Dale.
Yeah.
You got Cargo from Dale. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Cargo. And let me just look here real fast because this is kind of fun for me to do. I always like to try to, think of my trades as going really well. So let's see. Cargo, what did he do? Cargo from me went hit 333, 4 runs, 2 homers, 4 RBI, and a stolen base. Well, that's not bad.
Not at
bad
all.
This week, and I only had him for half the week. And let's see. But Andrews for him hit 308, had 2 runs, a couple of RBI, and a stolen base. So if Elvis starts playing well, then it'll be a good trade for both of us. But this is a big deal, man. Houston Street, one of the top closers for Zach Greinke.
I like the trade for you. Picking up a quality starting pitcher. You got closers to burn. You got them to spare.
That was my thought.
He's picking up closers left and right, which is interesting. He picked up my old Cody Allen.
Allen?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? And I give all the kudos to Kim Britton because when she said, "Hey Potter, you're great. Yeah, you're right in the middle of the pack. Good for you." I realized I do have to make a decision. I have to make a change, and I just decided at that moment when she said those words, when she typed those words, her little fingers going, I said, "I'm going to make a change. I'm going to get some pitchers," and it worked out really well initially. Harang, Burnett pitched great this week. Leake had a good first outing, got shelled his second outing. But my thought process was, I really don't want to drop any of my other position players. I'm not sure about Victor Martinez and Jason Hayward and some of these guys, so I need to trade a closer. So if I can trade a closer and get a top-notch guy, and I wouldn't be opposed to doing it one more time, to have 2 top-notch guys and then those 3 other starters and then just roll with it.
Yep.
So that's kind of my thought process. But we'll see. In my ERA
It's working.
and WHIP, I won ERA and WHIP for the second week in a row, I think, which I typically don't do. So,
boy, I had some guys with awful weeks. Man, I'm just looking at the totals.
Don't do it, man.
Jeez.
Don't do it.
Oh, man. Mookie Betts, 3 for 25, 3 RBIs.
Yeah, he started off like a house of fire too, didn't he?
Santana, 2 for 19, running an RBI. Adam Lind, 2 for 17, 2 runs and an RBI. Nick Hundley, he's my catcher, and I really can't. He's just all right. He'd been hitting all right, but he was 3 for 17.
Well,
George Springer, 3 for 17.
You picked him up for defensive purposes, your catcher.
Yeah.
He calls a good game.
I think my whole team is tailored for defensive purposes, obviously.
But this is the question that probably I would say everybody's got to ask themselves, especially everybody in the East after the West just dominated them, except for Pride. Got to give them their due. Is it that did your team have a bad week, or do you have a bad team? And that's what you got to figure out. You got to figure out who the guys on your team that just aren't good, and you need to move them, which you do quite regularly with your transactions. Or do you say, hey, look, I got the right guys. They just had a bad week all at the same time, so I'm going to stand pat.
Well, I'm sitting in the last place, so that's happened more often than not. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to start making some deals. And I've got the extra hitters now that I can. I got a little bit more depth, which I was kind of thinking about too. I picked up a starting pitcher for this week. He's got 2 starts, and he was a guy I originally drafted. I think he's coming around. Jose Quintana on the Sox. Sox are starting to play better. So I figured I'm going to pick him up. I looked at the other guys. I'm just like going, I just don't know who else I'd really want to pick up that's going to really help me from a starting pitching standpoint. So I actually dropped, out of my 3 transactions, 2 of them that I dropped were pitchers. So I didn't drop. I dropped one hitter, Adam Lind. That was it.
So you're going to try. Here's the other question then you have, because so now you've got guys you got to work in and out of your lineup now.
Yeah.
So because Kim Britton posted a thing and said, "Hey, my bench hit 500. I'm horrible at setting lineups." That's one thing I hate having extra. Like it drives me nuts that I have guys and have to decide between like Jason Hayward or Nick Markakis, because I always pick wrong and it makes me mad. I almost would rather just say, "Hey, look, I'm taking one of them. I'm keeping him. I'm just going to play him throughout the entire 7 days," because I always tend to miss if I try to jimmy him in and out.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that. I enjoy looking at individual matchups with pitchers and seeing who's got the better matchup and who I should slot in there. And frankly, I've tried I'm going to sit with this guy all week and see how he does. And 1 for 28 later, just like I got to be doing other things. Got to be trying some other stuff.
You just gave a tip in that statement.
And that is?
You just said I like to look at individual matchups with pitchers. I don't know. I don't know if Kim's doing that or not. There's ways to find out, to go look, and they got the numbers of what does Jason Hayward do against lefties, against righties, against this particular guy. And that's a better way to try to figure out, hey, should I start him against this guy or not?
Right. Yeah, it's all there on the site.
So we'll see. Some people, I don't know, maybe she's already doing that. Some people don't do that. I will say too, Darren, we said, hey, we got a Facebook page. We want people to post. We want people to get involved. We want some chatter. Some guys had their sights set on you this week in the chat.
Oh, they did. Yeah, and it will continue until I start performing. I understand that.
Tom Brown, I was talking to him. He's like, man, he goes, I'm trying to get stuff going. I'm hoping to have a good time. I'm trying to fun, but nobody's responding. I go, well, Darren's not in the mood to respond right now, so don't worry about that. It's funny what you're posting, but not right now. But then Pat jumped on there saying, hey, man, you guys, I want to slit my wrist, basically, after watching your last video and such like that. But we do encourage guys to do that, jump on there and
sure.
Kind of fun. Yeah. Are you having any fun, Darren?
Right now, no, I'm not.
Not at all, really?
No, not really.
It's a long season.
Well, you texted me that today, and I said, yeah, I know. It's felt like it. It's been a long season already.
Yeah, that's true. So. Well, I tell you, I've made a decision. Right now, I think I can't decide if Docs and Jocks is in the lead in the West or Tower. Tower's got one more win, but Docs and Jocks has 2 less losses in the ties, and I can never figure out how you calculate winning percentage with ties. Do you just throw out the ties, or do you? I don't. Because there's never ties in baseball, so it's very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because it ranks you based on winning percentage.
You might give like a half a win or something like that for every tie, something like that. That might be how they figure it out. I'm not sure exactly. I used to know when I try to figure out with the NFL when they'd have some ties on a fairly regular basis. But
one of those two guys is going to be on top, and then Mounties has 34 wins. I have 32, and then the East has 28. Is your top person 28, 28, and 4.
And I've got 24 wins, so I am knocking on the door.
And that's amazing, isn't it? You have 24 wins. You and Bandits have 24 wins, and you're only 4 wins out of the top spot.
Out of the top spot, yeah.
And nothing against my buddies Domorowski, but you're playing them this week, and they so far have not put up much of a fight against anybody. So, boy, if you don't beat them, if you don't beat those guys,
well, this is the thing. This is the test. This is the true test for my team this year. If I do not pound Domorowski into submission,
what? Like
what can I say? What am I going to do? I think you look for another co-host.
Let's do something right now. No, you can still co-host it, but you might have to bring it. Maybe you need a co-owner.
I'll just chat. A co-owner? Yeah, I guess so.
The first person ever has his team stripped away. You'd be like the Marge Shot of our fantasy sports league.
And I set the league up, and someone they take the team away from me.
No, here's my decision I've decided to make. Docs and Jocks, they were chirping a lot the last 2 weeks. They've got a very good team. They were the buzzsaw this week, but they have 2 owners. I say we cut their win total in half. They now are at 17.5.
You want to give some of those wins to me? That'd be great.
No, they're at 17.5. Unfortunately, Domorowski's at 11 because they have 2 owners too, and Britton's are at 13. So you're right there. You're right there.
I'm looking good. All of a sudden, I'm looking real good.
Docs and Jocks is down below me. I'm beating them. So I say they got 2 owners. 2 heads is better than 1. We lopped their win total in half.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, we'll make that change.
Yeah.
We'll make that change.
Okay. Take a note of that.
Yeah, well, anyway.
So who you got this week? Who you playing?
I got Baracho, the Bandits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's
We going we going cross conference again, cross division
yeah,
for
pretty
everybody?
much.
Probably, yeah.
Docs and yeah. Whoops, I just hang on. What just happened here? Yeah, we
Yeah.
got. Oops,
Oh yeah.
you got it up.
Rematch of the East and the West. We'll see what happens this week.
Yeah, that's
My
true.
division
Huh?
leader will be
Is
10 games under
everybody?
500 this
So,
week.
but Loopers and Bandits, Docs and Jocks and Britain, Mounties and Pride, Domorowski and Racers. Ooh, Tower and Slammers. You know, you look at Tower's total numbers, and Tom has been pretty fortunate in his matchups. I mean, he's the number one team in the league, but you look at kind of some of like now like who leads in runs. Like he's down in runs, he's down like 7th or 8th, and in home runs, he's down like 7th or 8th. In RBI, he's down 7th or 8th. I mean, across the board on all categories, Tower is down there, but he's just got nice matchups and.
Well, it makes you wonder too. I mean, if his guys start picking it up, I mean, he's picking up wins with kind of some subpar for performances.
That's a good point. That's a better.
If he starts hitting the ball, he's gonna be tough to deal with. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of middle of the pack when I look on that standing site and look at my stuff. I'm kind of middle of the pack. I'm really low in wins and strikeouts. I'm up there in saves. My ERA has gotten me back kind of the middle of the pack, and my WHIP is lower. But man, my guys have scored a ton of runs, 266 runs going into this week, and I had like 54 this week. But all my homers, 64 homers and 236 RBI. All my homers are like solo shots practically.
Well, I'm right with you. I got 64 homers and 237.
Yeah, these solo shots.
Of course, that was
killing
going into
me.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, these are tough. But is there anybody on your team, Darren, that you're like, yeah, that guy's been great. I'm glad I grabbed him. Or is everybody kind of like, yeah, they're all kind of underperforming? I mean, Stanton is. I mean, he's starting to hit the ball. I think that guy's gonna. I mean, he's starting to hit the ball. He leads the league in like it looks like close to 40 RBI.
Yeah, he's doing well. I can't complain about Altuve. He's doing his thing.
Guy. Yeah, he's doing good.
He's got over 20 RBIs, 20 runs, hitting 331. He's stolen 13
bases too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been great. Springer's average has been disappointing. He's got some production, but 10 stolen bases, but
186.
Hitting 186. That's Jimmy Paredes on Baltimore. Is going to be, I think, a good pickup for me in the long run. He's been doing very well. He's hitting 347 going into today. Marte's been good.
Six stolen bases, hitting 320. Dude,
yep.
Why do you not have more wins? You got a pretty good team.
I look at my team and they look pretty decent, but you got guys that just don't. Adam Lind. I mean, I picked him up a couple weeks ago and he did some stuff for me, but nothing now. And so I just dropped him. I'm like, I can deal with this.
That Milwaukee. There's some teams that are just scuffling. That Milwaukee.
Well, and you have to look at that too. You're going to get a guy. Another guy that I picked up that I'm excited about, believe it or not, is Freddie Galvis on Philadelphia, starting shortstop. The guy has done nothing through his career, and all of a sudden this year, the switch got flipped, and he's hitting second in that lineup. The Phillies are starting to win. I think they won their 5th in a row today. They beat the D-backs, or 5th or 6th in a row.
Yeah, they're starting.
They're going to Colorado for 4 games, so I am just licking my chops. I picked up another Philly today. Their phenom prospect that they just called up, third baseman.
Man, you're giving out tips left and right, dude.
Well, I picked the guys up, so there's nothing.
Yeah, Phillies at Colorado. You heard your tip of whenever somebody goes to Colorado, pick up guys that go to Colorado.
Maikel Franco. He had a couple hits today, including a homer.
When they call up guys that are phenoms, they typically get out the gate fast for about the first week or two. But the second time they come around and play these guys, the word gets out and they kind of go in the tank a bit. But they're usually hot the first week or two.
And that was my thinking with this pickup for this week, because I'm like, you know what? I thought that exact same thing. Until they start finding holes in these guys' swings, they're going to take off. And the guy tripled in homer today, and going to Colorado for 4 games, I'm like, I got to take a shot here. And hopefully, pile up some numbers.
Should we next year have a category where you get points like for total bases? Because I got guys who pound doubles, like Gonzalez and Tulowitzki pound doubles or home runs, and you get no extra credit for a double or a single or like that triple. I know some folks, they give actually single, double, triple, not just hits. They give you a point for a single, 2 for a double, 3 for a triple, and that's a category.
Well, that's something we can think about. I always kind of prefer the traditional categories. It's easy to keep track of, but
Right.
we can maybe experiment with that.
It just
Put it out
drives
there
me
for the
nuts when I get these guys who are hitting all these doubles. And it's like, oh, and you got little Punch and Judy guys knocking singles, barely into the infield. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got some good guys. Did you see, if you look at my lineup, though, now I've got like a MASH list going on. Tulowitzki's still dinged up, and that guy, when he starts getting dinged up, it's trouble. You see Gomez took a 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the dome today?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, I don't think it's a concussion. Really? He got hit with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. I think it's a concussion.
Well, you'll be able to swap one of them. Well, they're just day-to-day, I guess, huh? Yeah, they're not DL guys. Because you got Josh Hamilton coming off pretty soon.
But Victor Martinez, do I drop Victor Martinez? I mean, he's hitting 226, 9 runs, a homer, 15 RBI. He's horrible. And he's day to day. He's limping up to the plate. I see him today, and they actually put him in a wheelchair, wheeled him to the plate, propped him up, and then he popped out to the third baseman. They got back in the wheelchair and wheeled him back.
I'd drop him.
He literally, off the back of his helmet, there's one of those little handicap stickers hanging off the back of his helmet, so he can get closer.
I didn't realize he was doing that poorly. I mean, yikes.
Yeah, he's all dinged up, man.
His production numbers are basically nothing.
Literally, the announcers at the game were like, look at him hobble up to the plate. They're going to have to put him on the DL. Like John Hart or whatever was calling the game on ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have to put that guy on the DL. He can barely make it up to the plate.
Yeah.
They gave him 3 days off because he was playing in a National League team.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he might be done. But he's still like 92% owned, so I'm thinking, well, do I drop him? Do I not? I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You might have to you wait till you have to make a decision, but it looks like you might start having to think about it.
Well, when Josh Hamilton comes off, that's when some things have to change. Because I got Gomez, Upton, Markakis, Brantley, Cargo, and Fowler, Hayward, and I'll have Hamilton. I mean, that's 8 outfielders, and I've got 6 spots if I count my utility.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Hamilton, I mean, they're talking that he might come back off the disables list, in about 10 days or so. He's playing down at Round Rock. He's looking pretty good. So, yeah, I might. That's what I'm telling folks. If you want to trade, if you need outfielders, I would trade you a couple guys. Hayward hasn't really performed all that well, but he's a guy, if he gets going, could be a big guy. I'm not trading Brantley or Upton. I like all my guys. Markakis is hitting over 300, man.
You got a nice team there. I mean, let's
Scored a lot
face
of
it.
runs.
Brantley hitting 348.
Yeah, that was a gift from Team Britain. You know what's funny is Team Britain dropped Cargo and Brantley, and I got them both on my team.
And they both ended up on your team.
It's like the secret. I've been speaking things into existence. I'm telling people I wanted Brantley, and now I got him. I loved Cargo. When they dropped him, I was like, why'd they drop him? I got him. And I wanted a stud pitcher. I got Greinke.
You will, and based on that, you will end up with Stanton. As much as I dig my heels in, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
I think at one point I was about to give you Adrian Gonzalez, Dexter Fowler, and Jason Hayward for Stanton.
I should have taken it.
I couldn't let go of my Mexican first baseman, though. The guy's Gonzalez is 28, 9, 32, and 356.
Yeah, that's monstrous.
I mean, my only fear is, like I always say, you kind of regress to the mean, and I don't think the guy's going to hit 356 this year. I think he might hit 320. But if he goes half the year at 356 to get down to 320, he's going to hit 290 the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm. That's
just doing math in my head, so it's probably way off, but you get the point. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, man.
All right,
any other? You gave a lot of tips. You were like,
I'm
spilling
my guts now.
The last 2. Has it been good for you?
I guess so. Good to talk about it. Good to air my grievances, the airing of grievances.
The feats of strength are coming up next.
Yes.
I do like the Facebook page because I like, a lot of the guys chirp at each other,
right.
chirp. And then here comes Kim, that motherly voice. And she can chirp, but that motherly voice, she's like, I thought your last video was a little more upbeat. Keep going. You're doing better. Yeah. Like she's all encouraging. I was like, that's awesing.
That was great.
She's kind of like, great. Darren's, I'm worried about Darren. The other guy's I'm worried about Darren. Pile it on, baby.
he's down, and then you got then the Tom Browns and Pats of the world are just.
One of them's kicking you, the other one's stealing your lunch money.
Yeah.
And there's Kim. It's okay, buddy. Keep your dauber up. You'll be
Right.
fine.
All I can say though to those guys that are all over me now,
Oh, here we go.
just hope that I don't win my division, because when I do, and I get to the playoffs, you're all in big trouble. Big trouble.
We've got like 10 more weeks, and I think like 5 more wins will win your division. Like the way your
Right.
division's playing.
My bulletin board in the locker room, it's filling up, and it's filling up fast.
Well, the other thing we'll say before we sign off is, if you're in the East, you better concentrate on winning your division, because unless the West starts going south, it's going to be 1 from the East, 1 from the West, and 2 from the West.
Right. Right. Oh yeah, that's
But it's
the
a
goal.
long. I mean, there's a long way to go. We're popping
Right.
off. I know Tom was like really encouraging Team Domorowski to get the clean sweep here, but this next week it could go 5-0 the other way. I doubt it, but it could go 5-0 the other way.
Chances are slim, but stranger things have happened. You just never know.
All right, Darren. Well, I think it's a new week. I feel like the old Cubs. A new year. Anything can happen.
New year, new week. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Darren. We'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you around the middle of the week.
See you guys. Go Lopes.
Right. Bye.
Lopes up.